सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. Before I go into another Mahavakya-like statement, one thing I want to make clear, so especially a short class, one thing I want to make clear. How come even after listening to the Mahavakya, sometimes it is not clear to me? Apart from the qualifications of the teacher and student, apart from that, okay, and that is a given. If the teaching is not correct, you won't understand. If the mind is not prepared, you won't understand. That's a given. Apart from that, why does it happen that sometimes it's not clear? Because Tat and Tvam is not clear. Either Ishvara is not clear, Tvam, you is not clear, or both are not clear. Okay. Yeah. Let us start with Tat, Ishvara. Ishvara is not clear. That Ishvara is consciousness manifest in the totality is not clear. Now, why is it not clear? Because I take the forms that I worship as the reality. You are always worshipping a form. That form is taken as real. Too much of karma orientation. Doing a puja, etc. is very good. Okay. Good thing. And you ask them, why are you doing it? No, I am student Swamiji. Antakarna Shuddhi. Correct. So you'll keep doing Antakarna Shuddhi and forget the class? Forget the learning? Too much of conditioning. No? That karma orientation is too strong. Therefore, the form that you worship is taken as reality. You are forgetting what Kayana Upanishad said, Neidam yadidam upasate. Too much of holding on to the form. See, you need to worship. You need that form as an alambaram for your growth. You need it. Ishvara is necessary in your life. Yeah?
Also, Swami, could it be because of the over-identification with the body and mind?
Yeah, that is Tvam. That will come to later. So this Ishvara here, one has to be very clear. No. Even Ishvara as a cosmic order, I don't take it. We say, oh, Ishvara cosmic. Abhinna nimitta upadana karanam, definition is all pakka, pit-pat. The single efficient material cause for the whole universe. Pit-pat, you will see it. What is there in your mind? In fact, quite a few people came and asked me for a japa. What do I ask them? When you are saying Ishvara, what are you relating to? What is the form that comes into your mind? Because that is your ishtam. What is there in your psyche is your ishtam, and you are going to do the japa for the ishtam. But the ishta devata is for your invocation. What does it, that murti, what does it stand for? Whether it is Gangadhareshwara, Dakshinamurti, Ganapati, Lingodbhavam. What does it stand for? Ishvara, the order, the cosmic order of things. No? Yeah, cosmic order. Again it becomes word. What do you mean by cosmic order? That I can talk and you can hear is order of Ishvara. The science that made this possible is Ishvara. The science that make artificial intelligence possible is Ishvara. that makes stupidity so natural is Ishvara. That makes ignorance possible is Ishvara. That makes knowledge possible is Ishvara. The teaching is from Ishvara. Order and disorder are both in Ishvara. That is Ishvara. But I get stuck on the form. You need a form for worship. Nobody is saying no to that. Please do. Yeah. But understand what that form is standing for. If that is not clear, even when you say Nimitta Upadana Karanam, efficient and material cause, even when you say that, what do you mean? Ishvara manifests through Maya. Maya Shakti. Consciousness manifests through Maya Shakti. That is Ishvara. Yeah, but I'm stuck on my form. But you are in good company, don't worry. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa faced the same problem. He stuck on the form. That time he was doing Upasana of, he used to do different Upasana. When he used to do Hanuman Upasana, okay, you have to become the Murti you are worshipping. Shivo Bhutva Shivam Bhajet. So, he was worshipping Hanuman. He started staying on a tree. Started eating fruits and leaves only. Hanuman Upasana. That is tough Upasana, okay? But that is the strength of the Upasana, yeah. Very powerful to do Upasanas like that, yeah. So that time he was doing Upasana of Krishna. He did various Upasanas, okay? And you can do that, not an issue. If you are grounded in one. Upasana means worship, okay? Mental or physical, both it can mean. So he is not understanding Vedanta clear enough. He is getting stuck. So his Guru Totapuri came to him. 4 o'clock in the morning, come to the Ganga with me. And bring your Lala with you. Lala is that Laddu Gopal, Balakrishna. Bring some new techniques my Guru is going to teach me. Come into the river. This much of water therein. Take your Lala, carrying right here. Put him into the river. Let go. Why? The form was becoming a conditioning for him. If it can happen to a Mahatma like Ramakrishna Paramahamsa when he was a student, हम लोग लल्लू पंजू के लिए क्या हालत है? Don't say Swamiji, I am not conditioned. रेवा दे, I seen you all. पता है कितना कंडीशनिंग है, क्या है? Yeah.
Does it help to think that everything is a part of Ishvara and put together?
Not part. Don't think in terms. This is standing for Ishvara. Nariyal Purnima, I am offering the coconut to this wave, but that wave, in that wave, whole of ocean is there. Similarly, this form, whole of Ishvara is there. There is only a form. It is a portal for me, to use a modern language. It's a portal to channelize Ishvara for me. Yeah?
Swamiji, is there some order? Like, should we first negate and then meditate on all is Ishvara, or first all is
The
Ishvara?
consciousness manifestation. Yeah. Ishvara is consciousness, but is manifested. So the world is included into it. The whole universe is included in Ishvara.
So we should do both at the same time, negate and...
Yeah. And that is the idol is representing that. See, that's the difference between yoga and Vedanta. In yoga, Ishvara is Vishesha Purushaha. If you read this the sutras, Yoga Sutras, I forget which number, I don't remember that well enough for that. Vishesha Purushaha Ishvaraha. It's a special being. So it becomes like any other religion. It's a special being. A special being cannot be almighty or all powerful or all pervading. I have a Tao in Delhi. There is a Tao in Delhi. But someone was called as Tao. Tao means uncle, na? He is mighty, all right, but he is not almighty. Because he is also dismissed out. You can become mighty, but not almighty. Like the squirrel telling the mountain, I cannot carry forests on my back like how you can, but you cannot crack a nut. It's true, no? Yeah. So a special person is not. The whole consciousness manifests in the whole creation is Ishvara. Creation means what? Multiverse. Dimensions of it. All the dimensions of it. That totality is Ishvara. How do you invoke the totality? If you are in harmony, if you understand Ishvara well, and you are harmony with the universe, then you don't have to go to a temple. Why? Everything is alive. Ishvara is alive for you. My manifestation of Ishvara. Book, Ishvara. My body, Ishvara. That's why I put the tika. No? Why do you put the tika? It does not have anthropological reasons. That is interpretation later on. For us, it's a worship. Yeah. Body is Ishvara. Prana is Ishvara. Mind is Ishvara. Emotions are Ishvara. Swamiji, my emotions, Ishvara's order. Like Abhiramanji was saying, na, when we worship the others also, the negative forces. What are the negative forces? Your dark side, your shadow side. See, you worship Shiva, you worship Shivaganas also. And Shivaganas are frightening. We worship them. Yeah. The good ones you know. Nandi, Shivagana. Nandi I can. Yeah. There are a lot of others. See, worship Vishnu, worship the Vishnu Gana. Worship Durga, worship the manifestations as Kali and everything. Kali is a great manifest. Yeah. Mangala Swarupam she is. Form is fierce. Yeah. So you go to Kerala and all, lot of temples are Kali temples. Bhagavati they'll call her. So the dark side is also worshipped. So if your emotions are problematic, no problems. They are part of the divine order. Part of Ishvara's order. Yeah. Part of Ishvara's order. And when you see it as Ishvara's order, they are fine. You owning up your dark side. When you're owning up your dark side, they become your strength. Yeah. All the strong people you have seen, they are somewhere at some level owned up some of the dark side. And all the good but weak people, they are not owned up the dark side. They are good people, but they are too weak. They are not owned up the dark side, they are keeping it away. If you have to be good and strong and powerful, you have to own up the dark side. Yeah. It's important to know this. It is revealed in our worship. No, Swamiji, we'll do only sattvic worship. Yeah, predominantly sattvic. But acknowledge the Rajasic and the Tamasic. Acknowledge them. The Rajasic and Tamasic, acknowledge them. If you are denying that, your idea of Ishvara is limited. You have not understood Ishvara. Tattvamasi will be shaky. Swamiji, I never heard it before. What can I do if you have not heard it before? What can I do if you have not heard it before? It is there. The dark side is there, you have to take it. Yeah.
Swamiji, can you explain what do you mean by owning up the dark side?
Huh?
What does owning up the dark
Owning
side?
up the side, okay.
What does that mean?
You have anger in you. I should not get angry. I am a spiritual student now. I am practicing yoga. I should not get angry. I am worshipping. I should not get angry. And society will also tell you, you are studying Vedanta and you are getting angry. What is this? People used to tell me also that. I said, be careful. Yeah. I am not the Japamala of Ishvara, I am the sword of Ishvara. So better be careful. Better be careful. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I used to worship. Okay, sometimes it's good to share. And I am a very large open side, okay? I am comfortable with, my life is open. When I was a kid, I was offered as a dasa to a Rama temple in Kerala. And that Rama temple, it's called, there's a small temple, beautiful temple, called Tripurayar. Tripurayar temple, the Keralites will recognize it. And Rama there is Kodandapani, he is a warrior form, fierce form. So as a child, that is my thing. So you have anger in you. Okay? Dark side. So we try to keep it away. I should not get angry. Dark side. Negative. Now, what do you mean by owning up the anger? Getting angry at everyone? That's not owning up. Learning to channelize that anger. Because anger is a very powerful force. Use that energy. Use it where appropriate. That's why one of the descriptions of Rama in the Valmiki is one who is not afraid of righteous anger. As I always say, find a girl being harassed on the road. What do you do? Channelize your righteous anger to handle that situation. To empower that girl to handle it. All the way it has to go. Channelize your anger, no? That is called owning it up. You have learned how to use it in a positive manner.
Swamiji, how do you relate the Chatan Seva? How do you relate Chatan Seva with...
Sorry, I am not understanding what you are saying.
Chatan Seva, no? Vishnumaya.
Huh?
Seva.
Chatan. Correct. That's the dark side. Kutti Chatan and all are the dark side. Correct. Vishnu Maya, dark side. Vishnu Gana it is. Chatan is Vishnu Gana. A Chatan gave a promise to my grandfather, he will not trouble any of us. Yeah. Yeah. It's called Vishnu Maya. Another name for Chatan is Vishnu Maya. Kutti Chatan we say, no? And Vishnu Maya. Vishnu Maya means what? The power of Vishnu.
What is that?
Chatan is a spirit. It's a negative spirit. Can cause havoc in your life. Really, it can cause havoc. So, you channelize this. Because channelizing this emotion will become owning it up. Anyway, if I am doing a shadow workshop, I can, okay, quick this thing. What is it that you admire but you don't have in your life? What quality you admire but you don't have it in your life yet? That is something you are disowned. What is it you can't stand? That's something you are disowned. The second one is easy to understand. I can't stand this. I can't stand stupidity. Idiotic behavior. I can't stand. That's what you are disowned in your life. You mean to say you don't have stupid behavior in your life? मेरा लाइफ में बहुत है. Huh? Yeah. Yes. Even admire is the same. I look up, admire, but I don't have it. I disowned it. But the subconscious mind has put that as admiration. Both extremes are disowning. Anyway, it's not a workshop. Otherwise, I'd have gone into all that. Maybe some other time, some other place. Okay. Maybe if I'm doing another camp in Rishikesh, we'll do it that time. One day we'll keep for the shadow workshop. Okay. So, if Ishvara is not clear like this, all this is Ishvara. Yeah, all this is Ishvara. Yeah. But I disown certain things. Or I get stuck on the form that I worship and nothing else. I don't recognize this form is a whole order of things. If I recognize the order and made that a fact of my life, everything is sacred. What is not sacred? The table, everything is sacred. That's why before you cut a tree, you pray to the tree. You pray to the tree. You pray to the forest. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's sacred. And if it is sacred for you, it will become a fact of your life. What happened in our ashram's plot? Someone chopped off 2-3 trees, which I had said, preserve it, these are beautiful old trees. They chopped it off. I happened to get up at about 3:30, which is not my normal time. 3:30 is Brahma Muhurta, only Brahmaji can get up. If I get up at 3:30, I'll go back to sleep. That day I got up, I heard the spirits saying that our house has been destroyed. Ishvara's order. So Suresh and Sunita went and checked up. They found, the trees have been cut, etc. So I prayed. I said, we will do whatever is necessary to take care of it. So I took a priest, did a puja. Hey, please stay here until we plant fresh trees, etc., where you have your abode. Ishvara is the order of things. Fact of your life. If you are at that, if you have made Ishvara the order of your life, a fact of your life, fact of your life is already a fact, but you have not recognized it. That's what I'm saying, make it a fact of your life. Because you have not recognized it is a fact of your life. Then if you don't go to a temple, it is okay. Why? Ishvara is alive. Everything is Ishvara. Including the guy you hate. Including the person you love. All are Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. What is the problem? If that understanding is compromised by the form that you are worshipping, Tattvamasi will not be clear. Because everything, that Ishvara is everything is not clear, then what are you saying? I am everything. How can you say I am everything? When Ishvara is everything is not clear, how can you say I am everything? Can you see how not understanding Ishvara? Our understanding of Ishvara is very block. It's in blocks. Nuances are not clear.
Swamiji, when we say understand, can we look at it something like a universal thought or intelligence or something?
You're looking at Ishvara as?
A universal thought or an intelligence or an intent which is always present or something.
Everything is Ishvara. What intent? Everything is Ishvara. Intent, non-intent, everything is Ishvara.
Material.
The sun and the moon and the stars and the mosquito. The mosquito that bites you is also Ishvara. Oh, then I must have ahimsa. I will not kill a mosquito. That's wrong understanding of ahimsa. Then if you have a bacterial infection, you should not take antibiotics. Because zillions and millions of germs you are killing. Is that right? It's stupidity. You deal with the form as the form has to be dealt with. Yeah. You deal with the form as the form has to be dealt with the recognition that it is all Ishvara's order. So dealing with it is Ishvara's order. Yeah. This is, it looks paradoxical. Looks paradoxical. That's why I say everyone, if you want to understand Vedanta properly, fall in love. Because the whole falling in love is paradoxical. Yeah. Yeah. So when you understand that, you understand everything well. Yeah, paradoxical. Yeah. That is understanding Ishvara. My understanding is compromised, not complete. It is still I'm still stuck somewhere. I'm doing the karma, and the karma becomes all important in my life. It consumes everything. That's why the Upanishad says, na karmana, na prajaya. I will use that to chant and then worship. And still be conditioned by that. What are you doing? Some of you are against worship. No, I was there in the worship in the morning. No? I'm not against any worship. In fact, I worship regularly at home after that. So I'm not against worship. Let it not be a conditioning. Karma has a tendency to become a conditioning. Yeah. Any karma you do. Something I do, it is not a conditioning. If one day you don't do, what happens? You feel uncomfortable, you feel guilty, you feel, I wish I could have done that. No, I will take that 15 minutes time I get now, I will go and do my karma and come back. Where are you feeling guilty about it? That 15 minutes you get and do, you go and do and come is okay. Are you feeling guilty if you don't do? Are you feeling uncomfortable if you don't do? Why? Why? Some of you, I know, this 10 days of the camp I can't do. So I got somebody else to do my puja for me. Because puja can't stop, no? Acha hai, kar lo. It's good. But you are conditioned. Because you are feeling upset about it. You get somebody else to do the puja, is good, nice, acha hai. Puja is, Nitya puja is continuing, good. But why are you being conditioned? That's the question. I am not questioning the action, I am questioning the mindset behind the action. And it is that mindset that's preventing you from knowing the truth. You can give a nice lecture on it, but still be conditioned. Or the very understanding of Ishvara is not clear. Typical Hindu response. Believe in God? And are you a Hindu? I'm more spiritual than religious. Two things happen to most of us growing up in India. As a youngster, either there is too much of religion at home, so much so that you get fed up and you turn your mind away from all of that. Because as a youngster you ask, why are we doing it? Nobody could tell you. But you are forced to do things. You are off from it all. And our secular education helps us to become off from it all also. That's one problem. Other problem, you are brought up without religion. When your parents moved from the village to the city, they gave up everything. No, we are modern people now, All that is superstition. You believed all the propaganda that the missionaries and the leftists gave you. Started believing in that. Two extremes. India is very common. So either way it's a problem. Either way it's an issue. So Ishvara is not understood. Then by some chance you come to Vedanta, you start understanding. But the conditioning continues, mindset continues. So even with all the teacher's explanation, the bhusa bhara hua hai. It's full of all the sawdust. That becomes an issue. So if Ishvara is not clear, Vedanta will not be clear. Yeah? Yeah, bhakti can help you grow, bhakti can condition you also. Both can happen. Like Ramakrishna's bhakti, before he became Paramahamsa, he was only Ramakrishna. Okay? Yeah. That bhakti was a conditioning for him. Yeah. Meera, the child, was delusional. The 16-year-old was delusional. But she was not conditioned by it, because later on she changed it. She went and learned. The whole thing changed. Yeah. South, there is a great musician, Sadashiva Brahmendra. South, all the people have heard of. Great Bhakta. Do you know he has written a Vritti on the Brahma Sutras? A short explanation on the Brahma Sutras. It's all here. Bhakti was his expression. Yeah. For Hanumanji, Seva was his expression. Yeah. I was also similar. My teacher used to said, sing bhajans and etc. And there were one or two people who would say, Swamiji, these 2 lines are there. Can you complete this and make it a proper bhajan? He would do it. As a, at least half an hour, 45 minutes is going to go in this. I'll go have a round and come back. Finish whatever I have to do. Why? Okay. Bhajan. It was not my cup of tea. That's a different thing. I appreciate the bhajan. For half an hour I can take it. But too much of music. Not me. Yeah. A little bit is good. Not, that's this thing. Then Swamiji would say, I want this thing to be done. Swamiji, you're done. I'm not even told you whatever it is. Whatever you tell me, Swamiji, it will be done. You may not have the skills for it. No problems. I'll find the people for it. It'll be done. My bhakti expressed as seva. Somebody else bhakti expressed as bhajans. That's okay. Bhakti is there, na? Bas ho gaya. Yeah. Yeah. The soldiers say bhakti expresses by killing. You know, there's too much of nonsense going on. हम हमारे देश के लिए बलिदान कर देगा. बलिदान मत कर. Kill the other guy. You survive, kill the other guy. Pattern speech. No poor dumb BBB. Won the war for his country by dying for his country. He won it by making the other poor dumb B die for his country. Sensible guy. Eh? Sensible guy. So, that bhakti expresses like that. Is it wrong? No. Bhakti has various forms. Yeah. We all think, oh, the gopis bhakti for Krishna. Oh. They only had to make love to him. And share him with others, which is a bit difficult. What about his Narayani Sena? Where Krishna goes, I follow. In fact, the enemy has to pass through me to reach Krishna. I stand like a rock in front. That's not bhakti. They are putting their life on the line. Putting their life on the line. Which is tougher, tell me? The gopis bhakti or the soldiers bhakti? Which is tougher? Or you never think, na? You don't think. Satyaki is bhakti. Satyaki is a warrior. The gopis were bhaktas. Nonsense. People don't understand what bhakti is. Yes, ma'am.
Swamiji, the bhaktas, the soldiers who were given to Duryodhana's side.
Yeah.
They were Krishna.
Even greater bhakti. Krishna has asked me to fight on this side. I will do it. Because Krishna's words. I will do it. Yeah. I will do it. Even bigger. How much bhakti it is? Yeah. He's asking me to fight on that side. Because Krishna wants me, I will do. Ask not to question why. Ask not to answer why. Ask but to do and die. Bhakti. Charge of the Light Brigade. Yeah. Into the valley of death rode the 600. Yeah. That's bhakti. Bhakti has various forms. None of them need become a conditioning. If it becomes a conditioning, it blocks your understanding. So who will know it's a conditioning or not? You will know. I will know, that's a different thing. If I observe you well enough, I will know. And those of you whom I know well, I know. Why do you think I am saying all this? Because I know there are conditionings. Why? Because Tattvamasi is not clear. No, Swamiji, Tattvamasi is clear. Ishvara is me. Then But Swamiji, I have this problem. Problem kidhar if you understand Tattva. You are the way to understanding. Fine, that I will accept. You are a good students. I will accept that. How can you become better students? Knock off this conditioning. Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to ask a controversial question.
More the controversial, the better, because that brings in clarity.
Well, is jihad bhakti?
Hmm?
Is jihad bhakti?
What bhakti?
Is jihad?
Muslim jihad.
Jihad. Okay. Is jihad bhakti? Going to war is bhakti, the soldier's bhakti I talked about. In bhakti you are recognizing Ishvara. You are recognizing the Ishvara, the universal order of dharma, ethics. Okay? So, when will a soldier go to war? When this country is attacked, when his country is at risk, okay? When the enemy is running riot, okay? What is jihad? You are a non-believer, I have to convert you or kill you. Jihad has multiple meanings. One meaning of jihad is the inner struggle to become better. Beautiful. Totally acceptable. The struggle to grow and become a better person. The other one is also the meaning of jihad given by Muhammad himself. Lay in wait for your enemies, for the kafirs, and kill them. That is jihad. Muhammad himself said that. It's there in the Quran. I read the Quran. I am not by hearted. I don't know which verse, etc. All that I don't know. I have a Sanskrit version of the Quran also. So that type of jihad is a problem. It's adharma. You believe differently from me, therefore I have to kill you. Hey, as I said in the beginning, all religions are valid forms of relating to Ishvara. No? So if you are relating to Ishvara, that's bhakti. That's fine. But if I have to kill you because you relate differently and call it jihad, that's adharma. That goes against universal ethics. That's why it's very difficult to have peace with Islam. And there are 100 sects in Islam. If the whole world becomes Islam also, then they'll start fighting with each other. Shia Sunni is a major division you see. But within Shias, within Sunnis, there are multiple divisions. So then where will it end? There's a cartoon on this. What is that? One character with two swords and fighting. क्या करेगा? That's not bhakti. Jihad as a struggle to grow. Where is bhakti? That meaning I will accept fully. Other is a problematic meaning. I'll accept, I'll understand. Therefore, I'll know what to do about it. Shatru bodham is necessary. Not because I think of them as an enemy, but they are looking me as an enemy. Therefore, I have to defend myself. Yeah. With the terrorist who's coming, I can't say, I'm all love. Jadoo ka jhappi de do. Give a hug. With a terrorist? Yeah. Should be like Shivaji there. They both, Shivaji and Afzal Khan. Afzal Khan is 6 foot plus. Shivaji is 5.5 feet like me. Okay. Both did not trust the other. Shivaji did not trust him. Yet Shatru Bodha was very clear in him. He knew that guy will try to kill me. So when they hugged each other, Afzal Khan took out his knife to stab Shivaji in the back. But Shivaji had anticipated, he had worn chain mail. And in his hand there was what you call those tiger claws. Vag Nakha. It's a weapon used by the ninjas. Okay. So he put it into his stomach because he is short man. Na? Yeah. And pulled his guts out. Shatrubodha it is called. It is not called betrayal. Betrayal was planning to kill beforehand. This was defense because you knew that guy will do that. You anticipated that. If that guy had not attacked with a knife, this guy's claws would have been sheathed only. No? Because I am attacked, I am defending. Shatru Bodha, it's called. Awareness of the enemy is important. In between, we forgot that. That's why we are enslaved. That's why the Mughals walked in. Because we forgot that. Prithviraj Chava defeated him how many times? 17 times. And let him go? Once you let him go. Baba, you made a mistake, don't attack. Go. 17 times? Foolishness. What are you thinking? It's a cricket match or what? It's a cricket match, once in a way you lose. Law of averages will catch up, no? Nobody wins all the time. Even Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid, and who is that? Rohit Sharma, whatever, the new guys. They all gone for duck once in a way. No? So it happens. Then you lose. And when you lose your life. Shatrubodha was not there. Know yourself, know the enemy. 100 battles, 100 victories. Know yourself and don't know the enemy, you will lose half the time. You don't know yourself, you don't know the enemy, you lose all the time. It is there in the Mahabharata. It has also been quoted in Sun Tzu, The Art of War, the Chinese writer. Both it is there. It's true. So we are talking of bhakti. Coming back to bhakti. As long as my bhakti is not becoming a conditioning, as long as the puja part that I do is not becoming a conditioning, it will help my growth. If it has become a conditioning, or if my understanding is incomplete, my understanding of Tattvamasi will be incomplete. Because I don't know Ishvara is everything. I say it, but in my thoughts, feelings and behavior, I am limiting it. Yeah. It's merely becoming verbal. Yeah.
Swamiji, if I make a sankalpa, is that also a conditioning?
In the sankalpa?
If I make a sankalpa to do something,
Yeah.
sankalpa,
Yeah.
is
See,
that also a conditioning?
so it will be finite only, no? Yeah. So any act of puja that you do is a finite thing meant for a finite goal. Minimum will be what? Loka Kalyanartham. Everyone should be happy. Well, when everyone is happy, I'll also be happy. No? If everyone is fine, I'll also be fine. No? So the sankalpa for a puja or a thing always has a purpose. Why? Because we are intelligent people, we will not do purposeless actions. We are busy people, we don't have time to waste in time pass activities. Yeah. Time pass also becomes a purpose. Time structuring it is called. Have you ever seen the prisoners in a prison? They will take 20 minutes to fold a shirt, getting it perfect. Why? Whole day they are in the prison, got nothing to do. That's why it's a punishment, because there is no purposeful activity. So now you have to structure time. So 20 minutes, get the perfect fold. Perfection. You're creating an illusion of purpose, but it's helping you survive. Therefore, that's good. Yeah. We all think, Arey yaar, so stressed out yaar, I want a break. Your wife also tells you, hey, you're working too much, Baba, take a break. 2 days, I'm not going to do anything. Then what do? No, this cupboard has to be cleaned up, I'll do that. I'll go to the market and come back. Why? You're going to do nothing, no? Do nothing. Just sit down. Difficult. Something or the other you'll put in. Most of us go on vacations like that. You go on a holiday and need another holiday to recover from that holiday. What is that?
When you do Shanti for
astrological remedies.
When you,
Do chanting.
Yeah.
Manta chanting are being given
Yeah.
for astrological remedy.
Yeah.
So it's the same.
So chanting is also the same. Chanting is also an act of worship. Veda Adhyanam it is called. There's a Vedic Vidhi that everyone has to do, chant their own Veda or their own section. So it is part of karma only. Minimum is Ishvara Prityartham. Let the Lord grace be on me. Because I don't have anything specific to pray for. His grace is there, everything will work out. Parameshwara Prityartham. Then we add Durita Kshayartham. Let all my negativities go so that I can understand this knowledge clearly. So that is the intention. But we convert it into a conditioning. It is not meant to be a conditioning. Bhakti was never meant to be a conditioning. Karma was not meant to be a conditioning.
But why you do it as an astrological remedy? So is a condition. Or you do it for a purpose, but at the same time.
Can you
it's a
just repeat that,
condition.
Kavita?
If you do chanting as
Because
a
I understand her
remedy-
accent better. That's why, only because of that.
What she's saying is, if you chant mantras
Hmm.
as astrological remedy, then is that
So all the mantras are
conditioning?
also the same, no?
Then is that called conditioning?
Mantras are not conditioning. Mantras, manana trayate iti mantraha. That which will uplift you is called a mantra. With mananam on it, or repeating on it, or contemplating on it, you will uplift you. That is a mantra. Not meant to be as a conditioning, but we are champions. We can convert anything into a conditioning. We can, I can immediately think. Some people go with, yes, I should become unconditioned. And the need to be unconditioned becomes a conditioning. I have found many followers of Osho like that. Oh, we have not be deconditioning. And then the idea of deconditioning becomes their conditioning. Some conditionings are good. Healthy habits, prayer, etc. are good conditioning. But conditioning by what means? You are limiting your idea of Ishvara to only that. You are not understanding Ishvara as order. So that becomes a major block for understanding Tattvamasi, Vedanta. Because your understanding of Ishvara is very limited. Ishvara's order means, see, everything is sacred. Everything. But that's garbage, sacred garbage. So form, garbage is form, get rid of it. Is it sacred or not sacred? The one who makes money out of it thinks it's very sacred. Recycling, and he makes money out of it. He recycles the garbage, makes bricks to put it into the oven, industrial ovens. For him it is very sacred. Why? Money, livelihood. So it's not really garbage. No? What is garbage? Nothing. What you don't want. Certain things you want, certain things you don't want. That's all. Yeah. So, one problem. Tat. If you don't understand Tat well, Ishvara well, that becomes a block for understanding Tattvamasi. Second will be Tvam. Break ke baad. Yeah. Right now, the Tvam will be lost in the folds of the stomach. So let it be lost for today. Then we will see in the next class about it.